Hello, classmates. My name is Miranda Hewlett, and I'm going to share with you my presentation on Hozho and Hocho from the Dine or Navajo people. So I made this graphic to try to help to simplify a rather complex concept. Hojo and Hoko are huge components of Dine life. And you might remember from our Prothero textbook, the line up at the top, or it's called SNBH. This is essentially a statement of the Dine people in their native language for what their goal is in life. And you'll notice that Hojo is the last word in that statement. Essentially, this statement doesn't have one clear translation, but the idea is that the goal of life is to seek balance between Hoko and Hojo. So, Hoko, you can see on the left in red, is more of the negative aspects of life: disease, disharmony, chaos, conflict, ugliness, and evil. And then Hojo are the positives: the beauty, harmony, and peace. So, the goal of the Dine people is to strike balance consistently through life in between Hoko and Hojo. So we'll start with just basic definitions. What are Hojo and Hoko? So our reader defines them as profound philosophy of life. Hojo and Hoko are important elements along the same spectrum. So some might be tempted to think of these as opposites, but the Dine don't really think of them as opposites. They are just truths of the universe. So the universe is a mixture of good and bad, of Hojo and Hoko. Both of them are necessary, both are present in life and in all parts of the universe. So the goal is not to eradicate or eliminate Hoko. The goal isn't to get rid of all the bad things in the world, but to bring them into a harmonious balance. So most of the focus in the Dine culture is on Hojo. So Hojo it means the holistic balance of life. It's a complex concept of the Dine or Navajo people's culture and philosophy. It is a unique term that doesn't have a one-word translation, but it's often described as beauty and balance in physical and spiritual things. It is the practice of how to be. In other words, how to live, from the perspective of the creation of positive well being, harmony, and connection with your surroundings. I'm going to share with you a video from Marilyn Reed, who is the country director for Navajo Nation, and she will provide a perspective on the definition of Hojo.
Hozho is like a really amazing word. It just has a way of communicating that things will be okay. And as we get back in balance and in harmony with ourselves and the environment, everything around us, there's hope and there's peace. In this instance, with healing, there's well-being and there's joy. You know, even though there might be pain and suffering.
So, putting Hojo and Hoko into context and tradition, the Dine way of beauty is their life way. So, as we saw in the Prothero text, life way is a little bit more than the traditional understanding of religion. It's not just a view that one might practice when going to church or when praying or when reading a sacred text. Instead, the Dine way of beauty is their life way, or their optimal way of living their life from birth until death. It seems to be all encompassing, more than a religion that one could opt in or out of. The Dine accept that all of the universe contains goodness, which is Hojo, and badness, which is Hoko. Hoko, such as illness, pain, and conflict, will occur. They are a natural part of the universe and are unavoidable. So Hoko must be balanced with Hojo. The Dine people accomplish this by walking in beauty, or deliberately working to live well every day. That is, aspiring for Hojo. So, how is this relevant to adherence today? So, modern Dine people still very much walk in beauty. You can see on the right hand side of the screen here, there is a diagram that shows the Hojo resilience model. So, this is like how to build resilience in one's life. You'll see a quote there from the top. It says, "As a Dine, I have to remind myself and think of how I want to live my life in a better and more harmonious and peaceful way." That is Hojo. So Hojo and the SNBH statement are goals to strive for. Hojo provides the Dine people with guidance on how to live well, including how to cope with Hoko when bad things happen or when challenges arise, and how they can restore balance in their lives. The goal is always to strike that balance, to find resilience in the face of adversity. And this resilience, which again we see in that model on the right, is achieved through harmony in your relationships, that is, relationships with others, balance, harmony with living things, and reciprocity. Also, respect, that's called the gift of self. It's respect for yourself, for others, for Mother Earth, and for discipline. And then spirituality, which includes sacred loyalties, including ritual ceremonies, which are performed by singers in order to restore harmony, especially when Hoko is particularly out of balance with Hojo. And the Dine practice these attributes in their day to day lives in order to create lifelong beauty, harmony, health, wellness, and happiness. That is one way of defining what it means to walk in beauty or to walk in or with Hojo. The concept of Hojo allows individuals to contribute to the universe rather than feeling powerless to Hoko occurring around them. So, Hojo is empowering. It is a way to take charge of one's life, to deliberately act in positive ways that help create balance in the world. The photograph on the left hand side is of a Dine woman named Maureen Mink. She competed in a beauty pageant for married women when she was 48 years old. She actually was the mother of five and a grandmother at that time. She was defying traditional American concepts of femininity and beauty by taking part in that international beauty pageant. And she says in her quote at the bottom of the page, "As Dine women, we truly walk with beauty, and having that inside of us, we are beautiful as we are." So Hojo provides reassurance that bad things do happen and that this is a natural phenomenon and not indicative of poor behavior or punishment. So the idea is not, as it is in some religions, that bad things happen because people deserve them or as punishment for poor behavior. Adversity, struggle, and challenge are parts of life. They're part of the universe. They're going to happen no matter what you do. And all people must learn to overcome and accept hoko, or negative things happening. So, this concept of Hosho, or living one's best life in order to cope in healthy ways with the challenge and adversity and to achieve balance, it's not only a central tenet of Dine life, but it's a universal concept, or it could be, for all human beings who will inevitably face Hoko in their lives. And I included this quote over on the left hand side from the Hojo Center, which relates to how all human beings are related. So even though Hojo and Hoko are concepts that exist within the Dine culture. The Dine also believe that the Dine people are related to all they call five-fingered people. We are all related. In the creation story of the Dine, you might remember from our textbook, when human beings reached the surface of the earth and came out on the surface of the earth, which is where human beings now walk, they were the five-fingered people, and that refers to all human beings, not just the Navajo people or the Dine people. So that word can also just mean people or human beings, in which case Hojo and Hoko would apply to all human beings, not just to people who belong to the Dine or Navajo tribe. And I'm going to end my presentation here with some visuals. I have a sculpture here by Navajo or Dine woman Nora Yazi. And then there's also a poem here from Tom Jones. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I look forward to your comments and feedback.